NFTs came with this huge, revolutionary promise for creators. The idea that you could get paid not just once, but every single time your work is resold. This concept, called royalties, was supposed to be a total game changer. But what happens when that promise, a promise that's literally baked into the code, starts to break?
Okay, let's just really dive into this for a second. Imagine you're an artist. In the old world, you sell a painting, and that's pretty much it. You get paid once. Any money made after that, that goes to the collector. But the whole idea behind NFT royalties just completely flipped that script. It asked this really simple but powerful question. What if every single time your art found a new home, you got a piece of the action forever?
So an NFT royalty is exactly what it sounds like. A percentage of every future sale that gets automatically kicked back to the person who made the art in the first place. I mean, think about that. You sell your work today for, say, $1,000. A year from now, its value skyrockets, and it resells for $10,000. With royalties, a slice of that 10 grand lands right back in your wallet. It's a huge shift from a one-time payday to a long-term continuous income stream.
So how much are we talking about here? Well, typically, creators get to set this royalty fee themselves when they first create or mint their NFT, and it usually lands somewhere in that 5 to 10% range. What's so cool about this is that it puts the power right back into the hands of the creator to decide what's fair for their own work.
Now, this isn't just some handshake deal or a gentleman's agreement. The whole magic of it is that this royalty agreement is literally written into the NFT's code using what's called a smart contract. So in a perfect world, how is this smart promise actually supposed to work?
The whole process is designed to be totally seamless and automatic. An NFT gets sold on a marketplace, the smart contract sees the sale, it automatically calculates the royalty, and zips it over to the creator's wallet. The rest of the money, of course, goes to the person who sold it. The key word here is trustless. It means the creator doesn't have to trust anyone, not the buyer, the seller, or even the marketplace, to get paid. The code is supposed to take care of everything.
Okay, but you might be wondering, how does every marketplace out there know who to pay and how much to send them? Well, that's where this technical standard called ERC 2981 comes into play. The easiest way to think of it is like a universal barcode for royalties. Any platform that supports it can just scan the NFT's code and immediately see, okay, this is the creator and they get this percentage. It's the key piece of tech that's supposed to make this whole system work everywhere.
And this, right here, is where the whole thing hinges. When the royalty rules are enforced by the code itself on the blockchain, that's what we call on-chain enforcement. It's basically automatic and unstoppable. But the reality is, most royalties actually rely on off-chain enforcement. And all that means is that we're basically just trusting the marketplace platform to read the code and do the right thing. And as we're about to see, that trust is pretty fragile. So here's where that beautiful, elegant design starts to get messy. A bunch of loopholes have popped up, and people are using them to get around paying royalties, cutting creators out of the very system that was built to support them.
I mean, the most obvious loophole, right? Just sell the NFT directly to someone else, peer-to-peer, and bypass a marketplace entirely. But there are more technical gaps too. You can move NFTs to different blockchains, and sometimes the royalty info gets lost in translation. Some of the older, classic NFTs were minted before these standards even existed. And then, sometimes marketplaces just choose not to honor the royalty code.
And look, this isn't just some small niche problem. It's a huge deal. It's so significant that one source calls it, quote, one of the biggest ongoing challenges for NFT creators. The very promise that brought so many artists into this space is genuinely at risk.
So if the system is breaking down, what is anyone doing about it? Well, this has kicked off some pretty intense battles across the entire ecosystem. You've got marketplaces, creators, and collectors all scrambling to figure out how to enforce these royalties and really how to save that original promise.
A big part of the problem is that there's no single rulebook. It's kind of the Wild West, with each marketplace trying something different. You've got OpenSea, which uses what they call soft enforcement. Basically, they'll honor royalties, but only if the sale happens on their platform. Then Rarible goes a step further, enforcing them directly in the smart contract for any NFTs minted there. Then you have other places like LooksRare, trying to incentivize people with platform rewards to do the right thing. It's a total patchwork of competing ideas.
But here's the thing. Creators are not just sitting back and letting this happen. They're organizing. They're using their voices on social media and in their communities to push back, and push back hard. They're publicly calling out platforms that don't respect royalties and are demanding a universal, consistent standard for enforcement everywhere.
And all of this brings us to the future.
With all these problems and all of these battles, can the original promise of a sustainable income for creators actually be saved? And if it can, what does that even look like? This is the fundamental question that the entire community is trying to answer right now. The good news is, people aren't giving up. You've got developers, artists, and platforms all actively working on real solutions to try and fix the broken parts of this system.
And there's some really cool innovation happening. There's a huge push for universal standards that would just work, no matter what platform you're on. Some people are using new tech to make tiny micro royalties possible on every little transaction. Others are playing with dynamic contracts where royalty rates could actually change over time. And some are even building platforms where the community itself gets to enforce the rules.
At the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to get back to that incredible initial promise. I mean, just imagine it, a world where your NFT automatically earns you royalties no matter where in the digital universe it gets traded. That right there, that's the finish line everyone is racing towards. So when you boil it all down, the takeaway is actually pretty simple, but it's also really powerful. This isn't just a tech problem that some clever code can fix on its own. For royalties to truly work the way they were meant to, you need everyone on the same page. The technology, the marketplaces, and the collectors themselves all have to be aligned in supporting the creator.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. Is the future of the creator economy going to be built on unbreakable code that forces everyone's hand? Or will it always, at its core, depend on something much more human? A community-shared promise to just do the right thing by the people who create the art we all love.